This is Firelord issue number 7, and I've just noticed it's got this mark on the cover on the logo. That's annoying us. It's like an hard sticker, a price sticker, not removed very well. This issue is the first appearance of Barbie. We have seen a lot of her in Captain Atom comics, so this seemed like the opportune issue of Firelord to cover and kind of bridge that gap. Barbie is pretty interesting in that actually it's kind of the case with quite a lot of Firelord's villains. Even though Firelord is a C-list character and a D-list book, his villains tend to get more mileage than he does. Like Barbie here, she goes on to be a secondary character in Captain Atom, and she was in the first story arc on Suicide Squads. And it's the same with Crystal Frosties. She has been in loads of stuff. She was in Suicide Squads, she's been on the Justice League, she's been in loads of cartoons. She's in the Flask TV show. She's a main character in that. Barbie was in that too, actually. She was in like one episode. So was Madrox, another Firelord baddie. He was like episode 2. That show tends to use a lot of Firelord baddies for some reason. Then we've got some others like Slipknot. He was in the Suicide Squads film somehow. Mind Butler, Think Man. They had very prominent roles in Suicide Squad's comics. Anyway, this is by Gerry, creator of The Punisher. And it's a fairly simple story. We open up with Firelord. He has shown up at the scene of a terrorist attack, a suicide bomber. It's the French separatists again. If your only exposure to politics was on my channel, you would think that French separatists are like the biggest global problem currently facing the free world. Firelord, he goes and confronts the terrorist. He works for Barbie, of course, and then he does a big suicide explosion. But Firelord uses his constantly inexplainable powers to transform all the bomb energy into non-bomb energy, so nobody is hurt. And then his dad is there, Firelord's dad, Robbie Amel's dad. He's called Stephen Amell and he works for the newspaper. And then on the next page we are introduced to Barbie. There she is, her first appearance. Quite an innocuous introduction. She's just sat in a hotel room watching the news about how a suicide bomber failed. Then we're with Stephen, who works for the Daily Bugle, and Robbie, he gets to see his dad at work because he's going to tell him that he is really one half of Firelord. But then Barbie shows up. Barbie decides to hold the Daily Bugle hostage unless they print all her crazy French separatist rants. So while this is going on, Jack Bristow, the other half of Firelord, he's just having a sandwich, and he's always blowing having sandwiches whenever Robbie transforms into Firelord. And it's pretty interesting here that the character of Jack Bristow is completely contradictory to just about everything we saw with the character in that issue of Secret Origines. And it's by the same writer. So Robbie and his dad, they are among Barbie's hostages, and it's a fairly formulaic story where Robbie, he can't transform into Firelord because his dad will see it, and his dad thinks that he is a coward for not standing up to the baddie and trying to fight. Advert here, maybe Barbie should have just done one of these. And then Robbie's girlfriend, Frankie Ray, she sees it all on the news and doesn't at any point join the plot. Jack Bristow, though, he sneaks into the building to try and help stop the crisis, which, as I said, doesn't match the snivelling, manipulative coward who appeared in the original story. And also the police are there and they're going to sing Roxanne, and it's a race against time. I forgot that. The race against time element, it's important. And then Jack Bristow, he finds a fuse box and he's able to turn off all the power, turn off all the lights, which gives Robbie a chance to transform into Firelord without his dad knowing. And Firelord, with his consistent nonsense powers that can do almost anything a story requires, he stops the bomb by breaking the sound barrier. I didn't think that would stop a bomb, but it does. Then he confronts Barbie, and keep in mind, Gary Conman, creator of The Punisher, he's one of those zany leftists on the Twitter machine who says he hates all policemen and he backs cancel culture and shit like that. And well, he ends this story by having Firelord defeat the female Villain by using his molecular powers to transform Barbie's costume into nothing, so she is naked. And that's how she is defeated, by being forcibly stripped naked by a man who then mocks her. Very progressive of him, right? And the story, it's over now, and Robbie and his dad, they resolve their problems. Letters column, and it's confusing what is a response and what is a letter, but the responses, which aren't very long, they are actually written by Gary Conman, creator of The Punisher and writer of this comic. I always like to point that out. I think it's special. This is an unextraordinary issue. If Barbie never appeared again, I don't think this issue would have much going for it. It is a comic that follows the expected story beats and resolves everything in 23 pages. I rate it 7 thumbs up.